this Monday here in New York. Thank you for watching. I know you've got choices. How you doing? I'm doing okay. Listen, Chris Brown is sentenced to more jail time. Whoa. Lady Gaga is shading Katy Perry. Whoa. And Kenya Moore made a shocking confession. Let's talk about it and so much more. It's time for Hot Topics. Have a seat, everybody, relax. You know, when our guests come to the show, they cannot believe the party that's going on here every day. And without fail, when it's somebody's first time coming here, they always lean over and say, "Is this every day?" And I'm like, "Yep, every day. It's like a club." The tickets are free, by the way, at wendyshow.com. Hope you had a good Mother's Day weekend. I did. I was in the house eating, and it was the best TV weekend ever. No, I'll tell you why. The Esquire channel, which caters to men, and I don't normally watch what's on Esquire, but I was happening past on Saturday, Miami Vice Marathon. You know what? I sat and I watched for like 5 minutes and ended up watching show after show. I forgot how good this show really was. And then Saturday night, I talked to you about watching The Good Sister at 8 o'clock on Lifetime. The movie was so good, it did not disappoint. And then after that, I stayed at Lifetime and I watched The Good Mistress. Saturday night was on and popping. And then of course, Sunday, Mother's Day, so we call the shots. The guys left the house, didn't disturb me at all. I slept until 11, turned on the TV, got to the Logo channel. There was a Maude marathon. The Maude marathon was from 11 in the morning to 7 at night. It was just the best, because long before Dorothy, there was Maude. Dorothy from the Golden Girls, yeah. So thank you, TV, for being good to me this weekend. Okay, so Chris Brown has to do more jail time. Oh. He admitted that he violated his probation by fighting outside of the tour bus in DC. The probation that he was on was for beating up Rihanna. You remember this tour bus incident in DC happened about a year ago. He's been spending the last, he has 131 days in jail, and that's what the judge says he has to spend. Well, 131 days, he's already done some jail time because he's been in jail, you know, for the past several weeks. Remember, I was telling you that he flew across the country on Con Air with the other cons. Picking up bad guys and dropping off bad guys. The more we see him, though, the more defeated he looks. Like he might have learned his lesson, you guys. I mean defeated in a good way. You know, like he looks like this might be his last time that he'll ever do jail time. You know what I mean? Anyway, they say that they're not gonna give him the full 4-month stretch, which is originally what the judge wanted to give him, because there's overcrowding in the prison system, as we all know. And as a matter of fact, he might be out, is what they're saying, even though he was sentenced to 131 days. He might be out as soon as Friday. Listen, I know what you're saying, but you know, if the prison system is overcrowded, wouldn't you rather have the murderers and the real criminals be in there? You know, I mean, if they want to do something, they can put them on the house arrest. I told you, house arrest to me sounds like the dream. They put that lock on your ankle. You know, you don't have to walk to the mailbox. You don't have to leave the house. As long as you have batteries for your remote and a steady supply of food, are you kidding me? I could stay in the house forever. Well, the judge also has given him a break because, in addition to overcrowding in the prison system, he was also recently, Chris, was recently diagnosed with bipolar disease. And so, the judge took into account that maybe that has to do with some of his craziness. Well, do you think? Plus, he's also sentenced Chris, whether he stays in for 131 days or whether he gets home on Friday. Whenever he is out, he's gonna have to go to therapy twice a week. I don't think that's enough. And he's also subjected to a random drug test 3 times a week. Let's see. That's where they're gonna get him, because he's 24 years old, and in my opinion, he's not gonna pass a random drug test. Because I'm gonna tell you something about these drug tests. They don't just knock on your door and put the cup in your hand. I mean, Lindsey Vonn was at a big fashion gala. You know, Tiger Woods' girlfriend, who's the skier. You know, this is when she was competing in the Olympics, and they have to be clean, you know. They showed up, the drug test givers, showed up at a big event where she was wearing a gown and told her, go in the bathroom and pee now. And she had no idea how, when it was going to happen. So apparently, the drug tests these days are like drug test 2.0. Like if anybody here is on probation, they could very well just come through the back door of the studio and give you a cup. And the thing about drugs, I've had a little experience. The thing about the drugs is that stuff like cocaine, you drink enough water and it washes out of your system immediately. I don't know what heroin does, but and scissor and stuff. But it seems to me like a lot of this stuff, the stuff that the kids are drinking, the codeine 5.0. Anyway, they call it lean. That stuff, I think, washes out of your system right away. But there's one thing about weed, which is probably the most illegal drug out there. Weed stays in your system for 30 days, even if you got the turbo, urine cleaner at the GNC. That would still be 2 weeks. I just don't think that Chris has learned the error of his ways to surround himself by the right people. And while he might be out on Friday, he'll probably be back in the following Friday. But good luck, Chris. So, this is Barbara Walters last week on The View. Barbara, I don't know why they're clapping, but I suspect shade. Miss Walters spoke with Shelly Sterling, the wife of Donald Sterling, the Clippers man. And Shelly said that she's gonna fight to keep ownership of the team. Well, here's what she told Barbara. Go ahead.
The NBA may insist that the team be sold. What would you do then?
I'm fighting for my 50%.
Well, there are reports that the NBA wants to oust you completely as a team owner. You will fight that decision?
I will fight that decision.
Do you support the NBA decision to ban your husband?
I can't comment on that. I was shocked by what he said, and I guess whatever their decision is, we have to live with it.
Sit down, Mrs. Sterling. You, Mrs. Sterling, were married to that racist for 33 years. So you lay down with dogs and you get fleas. You got the fleas too. And furthermore, I don't have compassion for anybody in this family. I don't want the kids, I've told you this before, I don't want the kids to be able to step foot inside of the NBA organization, the Clippers. The brother-in-law, I know, is trying to distance himself from his father-in-law, but whatever, brother-in-law, you married a Sterling, so. I'm not saying anything. All I'm saying is that it all smacks of ugliness, and I think all the Sterlings need to have several seats. But on another note, those are some good-looking octogenarians. That Barbara Walters is 84, Mrs. Sterling is 80. Daddy, you're 83. Mommy, you'll be 79 on May 20th. 79. Boy, you older people are really moisturizing. By the way, the rest of Mrs. Sterling's interview, because it wasn't a full like Barbara Walters half-hour special. It was like a blurb got played this morning in the on the Good Morning America, and then later on this evening, who's the lady with the nice lips? Diane Sawyer. She's got a distinctive mouth, right? Anyway, Diane Sawyer is going to play part of it, and then later on some World News Tonight or whatever. So it wasn't a full sit down. Barbara did not get the big get, though. Donald Sterling, that one was gotten by Anderson Cooper. And so if you want to see it, it's going to be tonight at 8 o'clock on CNN, and he's going to be talking, this Donald, with Anderson. I like to think sometimes that I can look at things objectively, but you know, I'm a woman and I change my mind a lot and often, and some of you all get mad at me, and I really don't care. I feel one way about, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes when you get a chance, when you have anyway. Let's talk about Lady Gaga, who thinks that she invented green hair and kookiness and is throwing shade at Katy Perry. Well, Gaga kicked off her world tour. I like Lady Gaga, but I think she's wrong in this particular case. Lady Gaga kicked off her world tour last week, and a few days later, Katy Perry kicked off her world tour. Well, first of all, nobody's copying anybody. You know how a world tour is like a year and a half in the making, so I hope that that's not part of the shade that Gaga's thinking, oh, I'm on tour now, she's on tour. Anyway, here's what Gaga tweeted. It looks like green hair and mechanical horses are the thing now. Well, let's show the picture. Both girls in their concerts are wearing green hair. Well, both of them wear all color hair. Gaga, you didn't invent green hair. And then during last year's American Music Awards, you remember Gaga rode in on a white horse. Well, now Katie's riding a mechanical horse during her show. But that is not a copy, Gaga. Her song is called Dark Horse with Juicy J. And I like you, Gaga, but you're too big to be arguing back and forth with Katy Perry, you know? You're just mad because every time somebody turns on the radio, that's all we hear is Katy Perry with Juicy J. And the last Gaga song that people knew about was the first single from your CD that's not so new anymore, Applaud. Yeah, that was the last song that Gaga had out that was big. So maybe somebody's jealous of somebody. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying. You're too established to be so threatened by Katy Perry, who, by the way, is equally as good as you, I think. Gaga thinks that she's invented something new. There are no new ideas. You stole everything from Madonna. I stole Hot Topics from Barbara Walters. So now get over it, Gaga, and both of yous rock on. Kenya Moore dropped a bombshell with Andy Cohen last night. She said that she could be pregnant soon. Well, there she was. She was on. She said she's going for IVF treatment. She actually has dates and scheduled into her, phone when she's going. Take a look, and then we'll discuss.
You have an IVF scheduled on my birthday. That means that you've chosen a donor?
Yes, I have always known who I wanted to be the donor. I went to a sperm bank because I wanted to explore all of my options. I didn't know if the person that I was dating would say yes.
Right.
And so I wanted to know what are my options in case they say no.
So is it the sperm of the African prince?
Well, you'll find out.
I can't wait to find out. I can tell you, many people, including me, have doubts about this African boyfriend really existing, but now we might know who he is. His name is Tonya Cole, and he's a Nigerian oil magnate. An oil magnate. That word isn't used enough, magnet. Anyway, he apparently was recently speaking at Harvard University, and she was spotted there with him, walking around the campus. So there's only one problem, though, Kenya girl. You got to close your legs to married men. I'm sorry, Kenya. We here at the Wendy Show try to dig deep to get you as much information about stories. We checked out his Facebook page. His status is married with kids. Although in certain cultures, you're allowed to have more than one wife and children all around the place. So maybe that's how he's not from here, so he might have a different way. Although Kenya's from here, why would you settle for that, Kenya? I know, he's a prince. I get it. I think Kenya's 43 years old, so you gotta make that choice real quick. By the way, while I'm questioning your choice in men, Kenya, I am not questioning your choice in reading. Look what she tweeted. She tweeted this picture with her saying, planning to read Wendy Williams' new book, Hold Me in Contempt, on my vacation. She said that she thumbed through it and it looks kind of juicy. Well, thank you, Kenya. Thank you very much, and good luck with your baby plans. I was so happy for hip hop when I found out Dr. Dre is gonna be our first billionaire. I mean, what a great time. You know, when hip hop first started, who knew? He's 49 like I'm 49, and you know, they're forefathers and mothers in hip hop who were older than us, but we've really stomped through the door. He's gonna be our first billionaire. Well, he's finalizing his deal to sell his Beats by Dre headphones to Apple, as you heard, for $3.2 billion. This has really just elevated our game in so many ways. Now, we did a little bit more digging just to set everything straight. He owns 25% of Beats. So after the sale, 3.2, you know what? It's the haters at Apple who did this research. I swear to you all, I just wanted to believe that he owned it all and just let him ride being a billionaire for at least a week before we start breaking down, well, he's not really a billionaire. This is some hating person at Apple that put this out and then sent it over to our show knowing that we were gonna talk about it today. Okay, so look, so Dre owns 25% of Beats by Dre. If they sell it for $3.2 million, my mathematicians over there discovered that he'd be worth $800 million after the sale. And then you pay the taxes, that's $400 million. So I know. Well, you wanna know what? He still did a good thing. And he's already spending that new money too. He just bought a $50 million LA mansion that used to belong to Tom Brady and Giselle Bundchen. Yes. Look, there's a moat and everything. Somebody in my Hot Topics meeting says, who has a moat? I said, my friend Regina. When we were growing up, Mr. Shell, hi Mr. Shell, do you remember when you dug a moat in the front of the house and had them build a bridge over it? Yeah, so a lot of people, weird people have moats. I'm playing. The house is beautiful though. They say it's almost 20,000 square feet, and Dre he's married and he's got a bunch of kids. So, you know, rock out with that. You know what I heard last week? In 25 short years, Bill Gates is going to be the world's first trillionaire. At that particular time, there will be more billionaires in this world than we've ever seen, and millionaire will become kind of a thing of the past. And I say, if all this money's floating around, then why do we see so many people with no jobs? Why is the economy still screwed up? I don't understand it, but wouldn't you pass him if you saw him at the light next to you in a Prius? You wouldn't even know. I love my trillionaires unassuming. Yes. So anyway, who wants to go to the US Virgin Islands? I'm just the girl for the job. All through the month of May, we're giving away incredible vacation packages in our Hot Tropics giveaway. Take a look at what you could win this week. Wendy's Hot Tropics giveaway is your chance to win a tropical vacation to the US Virgin Islands. These spectacular Caribbean islands are known for their crystal blue waters, white sandy beaches, and relaxing vibe. This week's incredible prize package includes round-trip airfare for two and an 8-day, 7-night stay at the Frenchman's Reef and Morningstar Marriott Beach Resort in fabulous St. Thomas. You'll spend your days luxuriating on the beach or pampering yourself at the Lazul Sea Spa. And at night, you can choose to fine dine at Havana Blue or dine casually at Sunset Grill. This resort offers the ultimate Caribbean experience. Win your ticket to paradise by entering Wendy's Hot Tropics giveaway. Now, all you have to do is look for the word of the day somewhere throughout the show, then log on to wendyshow.com. Enter that word for your chance to win an 8-day, 7-night trip to the U.S. Virgin Islands. And remember, the more days you enter, the better your chances of winning. So good luck.